Hello, and welcome to an evening poetry reading. Start off with a little, I don't know if you can see that, Walt Whitman, Leaves of Grass. Just picked this up last week. Shut not your doors, Walt Whitman. Shut not your doors to me, proud libraries, for that which was lacking on all your well filled shelves, yet needed most, I bring forth from the war emerging, a book I have made. The words of my book, nothing. The drift of it, everything. A book separate, not linked with the rest, nor felt by the intellect. But you, ye untold latencies, will thrill to every page. Walt Whitman. I hear America singing. I hear America singing. The varied carols I hear. Those of mechanics, each one singing his as it should be, blithe and strong. The carpenter singing his as he measures his plank or beam, the mason singing his as he makes ready for work or leaves off work, the boatman singing what belongs to him in his boat, the deckhand singing on the steamboat deck, the shoemaker singing as he sits on his bench, the hatter singing as he stands, the woodcutter's song, the plowboy's on his way in the morning or at noon intermission or at sundown, the delicious singing of the mother, or of the young wife at work, or of the girl sewing or washing, each singing what belongs to him or her and to none else. The day what belongs to the day. At night, the party of young fellows, robust, friendly, singing with open mouths their strong, melodious songs. Walt Whitman. Let's see, what are we going to read? Here's reading Leaves of Grass, Walt Whitman. Aboard at a ship's helm. Aboard at a ship's helm, a young steersman steering with care. Through fog on a seacoast dolefully ringing an ocean bell. Oh, a warning bell rocked by the waves. Oh, you give good notice indeed. You bell by the sea reefs ringing, ringing, ringing to warn the ship from its wrecked place. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. For as on the alert, O steersman, you mind the loud admonition. The bows return, the freighted ships tacking speed away under her gray sails. The beautiful and noble ship with all her precious wealth speeds away gaily and safe. But oh, the ship, the immortal ship. O ship aboard the ship, ship of the body, ship of the soul, voyaging, voyaging, voyaging. Aboard at a ship's helm, Walt Whitman. Forrest Dumps, what's going on? Shakespeare's Sonnet 18, I'm assuming. Okay, let's see. Excuse me. Okay. Sonnet 18 by William Shakespeare. Blue Jeep, what's going on, man? Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. Sometime too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed, and every fair from fair sometime declines, by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou owest, nor shall death brag thou wanderest in his shade, when in eternal lines to time thou growest. So long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. I like that one. You bet, you bet. Here's Sonnet 15 by Shakespeare. When I consider everything that grows, holds in perfection but a little moment, that this huge stage presenteth not, but shows whereon the stars in secret influence comment. When I perceive that men as plants increase, cheered and checked even by the selfsame sky, vaunt in their youthful sap at high decrease, and wear their brave state out of memory, then the conceit of this inconstant stay sets you most rich in youth before my sight, where wasteful time debateth with decay to change your day of youth to sullied night, and all in war with time for love of you, as he takes from you, I engraft you new. And Sonnet 19. They just keep popping up, so. Devouring time, blunt thou the lion's paws, and make the earth devour her own sweet brood. Pluck the keen teeth from the fierce tiger's jaws, and burn the long-lived phoenix in her blood. Make glad and sorry seasons as thou fleets, and do whate'er thou wilt, swift-footed time, to the wide world and all her fading sweets. But I forbid thee one more heinous crime. O carve not with thy hours my love's fair brow, nor draw lines there with thine antique pen. Him in thy course untainted do allow for beauty's patterns to succeeding men. Yet do thy worst, old time. Despite thy wrong, my love shall in my verse ever live young. It was Sonnet 19. No, I did not. I was not on um, TikTok back then, but that sounds amazing. One, I really love his voice, Patrick Stewart's voice. One thing that I like is John Gielgud, who is a great um, Shakespearean actor, and somebody put, I think, all 150 of him reading it on YouTube, and he's amazing. But no, I need to look up Patrick Stewart because I love his voice. Um, She Walks in Beauty, good one. She Walks in Beauty by Lord Byron. She walks in beauty like the night of cloudless climes and starry skies, and all that's best of dark and bright meet in her aspect and her eyes, thus mellowed to that tender light which heaven to gaudy day denies. One shade the more, one ray the less, had half impaired the nameless grace which waves in every raven tress, or softly lightens o'er her face, where thoughts serenely sweet express how pure, how dear their dwelling place. And on that cheek and o'er that brow, so soft, so calm, yet eloquent, the smiles that win, the tints that glow, but tell of days in goodness spent, a mind at peace with all below, a heart whose love is innocent. Ended up buying the whole Owen Wilson book, and it's good. What? I don't understand that. Did he have a memoir or something? Mom is an English professor. Oh, that's really cool. I don't think I am familiar with Gene, Edwards. Hey, Margie, what's going on? But I always like to be introduced. Um, let's see, should read that to me as a child. TikTok, it's a good one. That is a good one. I didn't know he wrote poetry. That's really cool. Hat wearing, total false prophet, 1 Corinthians 11:4, prove me wrong. Steve, I don't think I could prove you wrong. You don't seem like the kind of guy that could be proved wrong of anything that you've decided upon. The fact that you would write something like that leaves me very little hope of changing your mind. But I shall leave the hat upon my head, nevertheless. Three Kings. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Like novels. Were you able to find? I didn't go looking for them. Several people have mentioned them, and I read them when they're mentioned. I just finished "Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee" tonight, by D. Brown, just a few minutes ago. Um, I do a lot of reading about Native American history, but um, yeah. Yes, you shall. Yes, I shall. Lady of Shalott. That's a little long for this one, but I actually just posted that on my YouTube channel in like full length. Um, I think I actually posted that maybe yesterday. I mean, it's not super long, but it's probably 8-10 minutes, something like that. And on these lives, generally people are interactive, so I kind of like to keep the poems sort of short. Yeah, that's such a good uh Lady of Shallott's so good. So good. Uh Desiderata. Yeah, I could actually just posted that one too, but that one's not nearly as long. Have you done the Book of Jude yet? Yes, I have. It's on YouTube. I have a playlist. I have different playlists on YouTube. I have like poetry, like short stories. I have like American freedom documents. So, like the Declaration of Independence, I have the Constitution. I have some Thomas Paine, American Crisis, different playlists. But I have one of the Bible. So any kind of like a Bible story or Bible book is on there. So yes, I have done Jude. Etc. The um, I did do Romans. I did do Romans. I spent hours and hours uh, recording and editing it. I definitely did Romans. um, let's see. What is your favorite Shakespeare line? That's a good question. I don't know. It kind of depends on the context. The um, there's a lot from Henry V I really like. Um, you know, I love the line where it says, "This day," talking about if we go fight these guys, I'm the king and you're, commoners. But he says, "This day shall gentle his condition." Like you're going to come up in the world because we fight together. This day shall gentle his condition. And gentlemen in England Now abed shall think themselves accursed they were not here, and hold their manhoods cheap, whilst any speaks that fought with us upon St. Crispin's Day. And I love that line. I can, I went to a guy's house that was in, if you ever seen the show Band of Brothers, that's about 2nd Battalion, 506 Parachute Infantry Regiment, 101st Airborne Division. I went to a guy's house that was in Easy Company, Band of Brothers, the show. So I went and talked to him one time, and that was exactly, I mean, it was like I held my manhood cheap while I was listening to that man. I mean, he's like 5'6", a buck 30, 96 years old at the time. I'm 6'5", 240. I'm a big fella. I felt like a little kid next to that man. What a giant. You know what I mean? I feel like I know what Shakespeare's saying because of standing there talking to this war hero who like jumped into Normandy in the middle of the night and then jumped into Holland, Market Garden, and then he fought his way through Bastogne and all the way up to the Eagle's Nest. And his unit took Hitler's lair, his thing. Anyway, that's one of my favorite lines. Can you do a Shakespeare song? I literally just did 4. Did you just roll up, Margie? You missed all 4 of them? Because I can do another one. They're nice and short. But like I've been doing more sonnets tonight than anything else. The Passionate. Oh, that's a good one. Let's do that one while we wait for Margie to answer. Wait. Okay, first. Desiderata by Max Ehrman. Somebody asked for that. Okay, here we go. Go placidly amid the noise and haste, and remember what peace there may be in silence. As far as possible, without surrender, be on good terms with all persons. Speak your truth quietly and clearly, and listen to others, even the dull and the ignorant. They too have their story. Avoid loud and aggressive persons. They are vexations to the spirit. If you compare yourself with others, you may become vain and bitter. For always there will be greater and lesser persons than yourself. Enjoy your achievements as well as your plans. Keep interested in your own career, however humble. It is a real possession in the changing fortunes of time. Exercise caution in your business affairs, for the world is full of trickery. But let this not blind you to what virtue there is. Many persons strive for high ideals, and everywhere life is full of heroism. Be yourself. Especially, do not feign affection, neither be cynical about love. For in the face of all aridity and disenchantment, it is as perennial as the grass. Take kindly the counsel of the years, gracefully surrendering the things of youth. Nurture strength of spirit to shield you in sudden misfortune, but do not distress yourself with dark imaginings. Many fears are born of fatigue and loneliness. Beyond a wholesome discipline, be gentle with yourself. You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. You have a right to be here. And whether or not it is clear to you, no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should. Therefore, be at peace with God, whatever you conceive him to be, and whatever your labors and aspirations in the noisy confusion of life, keep peace with your soul. With all its sham, drudgery, and broken dreams, it is still a beautiful world. Be cheerful. Strive to be happy. Max Ehrman, Desiderata. All right. The passionate shepherd to his love. Uh, Come live with me and be my love, and we will all the pleasures prove that valleys, groves, hills, and fields, woods, or steepy mountain yields. And we will sit upon the rocks, seeing the shepherds feed their flocks, by shallow rivers to whose falls melodious birds sing madrigals. And I will make thee beds of roses and 1,000 fragrant posies, a cap of flowers and a kirtle, embroidered all with leaves of myrtle, a gown made of the finest wool, which from our pretty lambs we pull, fair lined slippers for the cold, with buckles of the purest gold, a belt of straw and ivy buds, with coral clasps and amber studs. And if these pleasures may thee move, come live with me and be my love. The shepherd's swain shall dance and sing for thy delight each May morning. If these delights thy mind may move, then live with me and be my love. Um, Marty, do you have a certain one you want to hear? A certain sonnet? I love Shakespeare sonnets. My arm can easily be twisted to reading one. Have you considered putting your content on Rumble? Yes, I've put some of it on there, but not all of it. Most of my stuff's on YouTube, but I'm trying to, you know, work upload to Rumble as I can. Let's see. Okay. All right. I keep getting as always. I'm going through the little comments, and then my fat finger will do something, and it'll be like, and I go down to the bottom or to the top, and I lose whatever I was reading. So if I miss your little TikTok comments, that's my fault, not yours, and I apologize. Okay, and Honey, I Love by Eloise Greenfield. Let's see. I think looks like a book, and I do not have that book. Usually things like that are kind of hard to find without getting the book. So I'm not sure. Looks like a sweet poem, though. The Speech Wears Sunscreen by Mary. Is that a is that a poem? William Blake's The Tiger. I know that's a poem. All right, The Tiger by William Blake. Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forests of the night, what immortal hand or eye could frame thy fearful symmetry? In what distant deeps or skies burnt the fire of thine eyes? On what wings dare he aspire? What the hand dare seize the fire? And what shoulder and what art could twist the sinews of thy heart? And when thy heart began to beat, what dread hand and what dread feet? What the hammer? What the chain? In what furnace was thy brain? What the anvil? What dread gasp? What dread grasp dare its deadly terrors clasp? When the stars threw down their spears and watered heaven with their tears, did he smile his work to see? Did he who made the lamb make thee? Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forests of the night, what immortal hand or eye dare frame thy fearful symmetry? How's about some Yeats? Uh, see, and then there's Love some Yeats. That makes two. And then Forrest says, When You're Old. Let's do it. When you are old and gray and full of sleep and nodding by the fire, take down this book and slowly read and dream of the soft look your eyes once had and of their shadows deep. How many loved your moments of glad grace and loved your beauty with love false or true. But one man loved the pilgrim soul in you and loved the sorrows of your changing face. And bending down beside the glowing bars, murmur a little sadly how love fled and paced upon the mountains overhead and hid his face amid a crowd of stars. Let's see. Kristen, thanks very much. You know, it feels like it's from the old country, from the, where my, where the folks are from. Okay, Sonnet 116. Good one. Forrest Dumps, you're on fire tonight, as far as I'm concerned. All right, Sonnet 116 by William Shakespeare. Let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. Love is not love which alters when it alteration finds, or bends with the remover to remove. Oh no, it is an ever fixed mark that looks on tempests and is never shaken. It is the star to every wandering bark, whose worth's unknown, although his height be taken. Love's not time's fool, though rosy lips and cheeks within his bending sickle's compass come. Love alters not with his brief hours and weeks, but bears it out, even to the edge of doom. If this be error, and upon me proved, I never writ, nor no man ever loved. Okay, so here's a little quiz. It is the star to every wandering bark. What is a bark? The Texas Bear Queen. The I actually would disagree with you that it's not poetry. If you read it in the King's English, oh, it's poetry. All right. So it's pretty long, but we'll read the first few verses of it. And seeing the multitudes, he went up into a mountain. And when he was set, his disciples came unto him. And he opened his mouth and taught them, saying, Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. That's from Matthew chapter 5 in the Bible. You want to finish the rest of it. It's good long. It's pretty long. A lot of good stuff in there. Annabelle Lee. It's a good one. It was many and many a year ago, in a kingdom by the sea, that a maiden there lived whom you may know by the name of Annabelle Lee. And this maiden, she lived with no other thought than to love and be loved by me. I was a child, and she was a child, in this kingdom by the sea, but we loved with a love that was more than love, I and my Annabelle Lee, with a love that the winged seraphs of heaven coveted, her and me. And this was the reason that long ago in this kingdom by the sea, a wind blew out of a cloud, chilling my beautiful Annabelle Lee, so that her high-born kinsman came and bore her away from me to shut her up in a sepulchre in this kingdom by the sea. The angels, not half so happy in heaven, went envying her and me. Yes, that was the reason, as all men know in this kingdom by the sea, that the wind came out of the cloud by night, chilling and killing my Annabelle Lee. But our love it was stronger by far than the love of those who were older than we, of many far wiser than we. And neither the angels in heaven above, nor the demons down under the sea, can ever dissever my soul from the soul of the beautiful Annabelle Lee. For the moon never beams without bringing me dreams of the beautiful Annabelle Lee, and the stars never rise but I feel the bright eyes of the beautiful Annabelle Lee. And so all the night tide I lie down by the side of my darling, my life and my bride, in her sepulchre there by the sea, in her tomb by the sounding sea. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Where's a speech but lie? I'm not sure what that, I'm not sure what you mean. Um, is that like a movie or something? Paisley, you bet. You just read some Harry Potter. Jim Dale, the guy that wrote Harry or narrated Harry Potter. I mean, that it cannot be improved upon. That guy is absolutely incredible because he's the kind, there's generally two different kinds of audiobook narrators. One is sort of, you slightly change the attitude, but you don't really change your voice. You're not mistaken for another person. You just change the attitude, and that's really, that's all you need, really. And that's great. Jim Dale becomes the character. That's like a theater production. I mean, he sounds like an old woman, and then he sounds like, I mean, he's amazing. I would I actually don't own any Harry Potter books, believe it or not. I was more of a C.S. Lewis guy, and I never got into, I just never read one. But yeah, Blue Jeep, I really appreciate that. Okay, so a bark is a boat, right? It's a type of ship. So if you're a star to every wandering bark, that means you're using celestial navigation and it's guiding you, even though you're wandering, and you're going to where you need to go. So that's what that means. How do I know this, you ask? For I am a sailor. Oh, Lazy Spice. The lamb. Yes, the lamb does go with the tiger. He actually wrote the lamb first. But my dad used to read this to me when I was little, and this is one of the first poems that I ever remember, like, hearing. Like, hearing words rhyme and stuff. This might be the first one where I became sort of aware of like, poetry. And again, I am all scattered now, and I've lost my place, so I may have skipped somebody's comment. Um, nope. Well, come on now. Okay, the lamb. Here we go. Excuse me. Little lamb, who made thee? Dost thou know who made thee? Gave thee life and bid thee feed by the stream and o'er the mead? Gave thee clothing of delight, softest clothing, woolly bright? Gave thee such a tender voice, making all the vales rejoice? Little lamb, who made thee? Dost thou know who made thee? Little lamb, I'll tell thee. Little lamb, I'll tell thee. He is called by thy name, for he calls himself a lamb. He is meek and he is mild. He became a little child. I a child, and thou a lamb. We are called by his name. Little lamb, God bless thee. Little lamb, God bless thee. So that line, I mean, that's so sweet. Like, oh, it's so heartwarming. So when he's talking about, like the teeth and how fierce it is, and it says, did he who made the lamb make thee? I love that line. Uh, let's see, where are we at? See, Forrest. I got Forrest crying over there. Sounds like from that was. I know that was earlier. I think I passed that one earlier. Uh, Miller's Tail. Let's see. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, isn't that so sweet? That's just heartwarming. I really like that. Thank you very much. Hey, Everhart, is that how you say your name? The Yeah, Kristen, if you've listened to Jim Dale 1,000 times, I would only disappoint you. Like, that is top of the pile narration. It does not get any better. I mean, it's truly amazing. Wicked Witch, have a good night. Thanks for joining in. You have a great, day, great week. But also, Kristen, I would read it if I had it, but I don't have it. I don't have it in here. Uh, let's see. Are we caught up? Maybe. Hmm. Okay. So I think we're caught up on our requests. I don't think I've ever read any of C.S. Lewis's poetry, actually. I've read Chronicles of Narnia, love it, and several of his other books, but not, I don't think his poetry. Okay, let's. Maybe some John Keats. I think that's one of my favorite bedtime poets is John Keats. His old Bright Star. Bright star, would I were steadfast as thou art, not in lone splendor hung aloft the night and watching with eternal lids apart, like nature's patient, sleepless eremite, the moving waters at their priest-like task of pure ablution round earth's human shores, or gazing on the new soft fallen mask of snow upon the mountains and the moors. No, yet still steadfast, still unchangeable, pillowed upon my fair love's ripening breast, to feel forever its soft fall and swell, awake forever in a sweet unrest, still, still to hear her tender taken breath, and so live forever, or else swoon to death. John Keats, Bright Star. Thank you. I appreciate that. I think Sophie. And is GMA, does that mean grandma? Because I don't want to say grandma if you're not a grandma. Grandma Everhart. Wandered lonely as a cloud. Yes. Okay, good deal. Okay. Thank you, Grandma. Grandma Everhart. Okay, William Wordsworth. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high o'er vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze, continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way. They stretch a never-ending line along the margin of a bay. 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. The waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not but be gay in such a jocund company. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth the show to me had brought. For oft when on my couch I lie in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude. And then my heart with pleasure fills and dances with the daffodils. Such a good one. Oh, thanks, Forrest. Appreciate that. Whoops. Let's see. See if old Langston's on there. Yeah, I really like that one. It's so like I don't know, it just has you out in the pasture on a sunny day and feel the breeze in your face, and I just love the way he writes that. Okay, I've asked you this before. Could you read Good Hours by Frost? It's Jubes? Is that right? Is that your name? Is that your handle? Okay, theme for English B by Langston Hughes. The instructor said, "Go home and write a page tonight and let that page come out of you. Then it will be true." I wonder if it's that simple. I am 22, colored, born in Winston-Salem. I went to school there, then Durham, then here to this college on the hill above Harlem. I'm the only colored student in my class. The steps from the hill lead down into Harlem through a park. Then I cross St. Nicholas, 8th Avenue, 7th, and I come here to the Y, the Harlem Branch Y, where I take the elevator up to my room, sit down, and write this page. It's not easy to know what is true for you or me at 22, my age, but I guess I'm what I feel and see and hear. Harlem, I hear you. Hear you, hear me. We two, you, me, talk on this page. I hear New York too. Me, who? Well, I like to eat, sleep, drink, and be in love. I like to work, read, learn, and understand life. I like a pipe for a Christmas present, or records, Bessie, Bop, or Bach. I guess being colored doesn't make me not like the things other folks like who are other races. So will my page be colored that I write? Being me, it will not be white, but it will be a part of you, instructor. You are white, yet a part of me, as I am a part of you. That's American. Sometimes perhaps you don't want to be a part of me, nor do I often want to be a part of you, but we are. That's true. As I learn from you, I guess you learn from me, although you're older and white and somewhat more free. This is my page for English B. Langston Hughes. To Autumn by Keats is very timely. Okay, let's do Good Hours by Frost. See if I can find that one, and then To Autumn. All right, Good Hours by Robert Frost. I had for my evening walk no one at all with whom to talk, but I had the cottages in a row up to their shining eyes in snow, and I thought I had the folk within. I had the sound, sorry, and I thought I had the folk within, and I had the sound of a violin. I had a glimpse through curtain laces of youthful forms and youthful faces. I had such a company outward bound. I went till there were no cottages found. I turned and repented, but coming back I saw no window, but that was black. Over the snow my creaking feet disturbed the slumbering village street, like profanation, by your leave, at 10 o'clock on a winter's eve. All right, To Autumn by Keats. You are very welcome. Always like Frost. to Autumn by John Keats. Season of mists and mellow fruitfulness, close bosom friend of the maturing sun, conspiring with them how to load and bless with fruit the vines that round the thatch eaves run, to bend with apples the mossed cottage trees, and fill all fruit with ripeness to the core, to swell the gourd and plump the hazel shells with a sweet kernel, to set budding more and still more later flowers for the bees until they think warm days will never cease, for summer has o'er-brimmed their clammy cells. Who hath not seen thee oft amid thy store? Sometimes whoever seeks abroad may find thee sitting careless on a granary floor, thy hair soft lifted by the winnowing wind, or on a half-reaped furrow sound asleep, drowsed with the fume of poppies, while thy hook spares the next swath and all its twined flowers. And sometimes, like a gleaner, thou dost keep steady thy laden head across a brook, or by a cider press with a patient look, thou watchest the last oozings hours by hours. Where are the songs of spring? Ay, where are they? Think not of them. Thou hast thy music too, while barred clouds bloom the soft dying day, and touch the stubble plains with rosy hue. Then in a wailful choir the small gnats mourn among the river sallows, borne aloft or sinking as the light wind lives or dies, and full-grown lambs loud bleat from hilly bourne. Hedge crickets sing, and now with treble soft the redbreast whistles from a garden croft, and gathering swallows twitter in the skies. See, some folks think, Jack Dorsey or whoever was the first one to say Twitter, but John Keats was saying Twitter in the 1800s for different reasons, but, still saying it. Thanks, Forrest. Appreciate that. So coming up on an hour. I'll try to do another one or two. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I always think it's funny when there will be a you'll see a word that you think is like some sort of hip new word, and then you read it in Shakespeare or Chaucer or something. You're like, oh, we're they're smarter than we thought they were, than we thought they were. Yeah, I think that generally people's vocabulary tend to just go down, 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 down. Poets of 300 and 400 years ago had a gigantic vocabulary. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Bark it's like a little, it's a small boat, and like in the poem "Sea Fever" by John Masefield, he says, "And all I want, like, is a something, 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 and a star to steer her by." So, like, since the old times, like the Phoenicians used to, use the stars for navigation. If you know what you're looking for, you can go anywhere in the world. If you know how to rig your sails and you know how to um, read the stars. Let's see. Ode to a Grecian Urn. I think that's pretty short. How by Allen? I don't think I've read that one, but I have read Allen Ginsberg before. Let's do Ode to a Grecian Urn real quick. Then we'll check out Ginsberg. Or Ode on a Grecian Urn, I should say. All right. Ode on a Grecian Urn by John Keats. Thou still unravished bride of quietness, thou foster child of silence and slow time, sylvan historian, who canst th- who canst thou who canst thus express a flowery tale more sweetly than our rhyme? What leaf-ringed legend haunts about thy shape of deities or mortals, or of both, in Tempe or the dales of Arcady? What men or gods are these? What maidens loathe? What mad pursuit? What struggle to escape? What pipes and timbrels? What wild ecstasy? Heard melodies are sweet, but whose unheard are sweeter, but those unheard are sweeter. Therefore, ye soft pipes, play on, not to the sensual ear, but more endeared, pipe to the spirit ditties of no tone. Fair youth beneath the trees, thou canst not leave thy song, nor ever can those trees be bare. Bold lover, never, never canst thou kiss, though winning near the goal yet do not grieve. She cannot fade, though thou hast not thy bliss, for ever wilt thou love, and she be fair. Ah, happy, happy boughs, that cannot shed your leaves, nor ever bid the spring adieu, and happy, melodious, unwearied, for ever piping songs for ever new, more happy love, more happy, happy love, forever warm and still to be enjoyed, forever panting and forever young, all breathing human passion far above, that leaves a heart high sorrowful and cloyed, a burning forehead and a parching tongue. Who are these coming to the sacrifice? To what green altar, O mysterious priest, leadest thou that heifer lowing at the skies, and all her silken flanks with garlands dressed? What little town by river or seashore, or mountain built with peaceful citadel, is emptied of this folk, this pious morn? And little town, thy streets forevermore wilt silent be, and not a soul to tell why thou art desolate, can e'er return. O Attic shape, fair attitudes with breed of marble men and maidens overwrought, with forest branches and the trodden weed, thou silent form dost tease us out of thought as doth eternity. Cold pastoral, when old age shall this generation waste, thou shalt remain, in midst of other woe than ours, a friend to man, to whom thou sayest, beauty is truth, truth, beauty. That is all ye know on earth. That is all ye know on earth, and all ye need to know. Ode on a Grecian Urn by John Keats. Okay, let's look up. Let's try Howl. That's a little bit long for this one. Yeah, it's Howl's a little that's a little long. But he has some much shorter ones, doesn't he? I know I've read some stuff on here before that were a lot shorter, but I don't know his stuff really well, but I know I've read them. The yeah, Anthem for Doomed Youth is fantastic, and Wilfred Owen is he's a realist when it comes to war. Um, oh, I'm just noticing your comment. Yeah, the old poets and writers, their vocabularies were huge, and even guys that um, not just guys, women too, that we, we think of as, um, like bad people or arrogant, like George Armstrong Custer, famous cavalry colonel in the Civil War and then in the Indian Wars out west. People think, oh, he's big, dumb, and stupid, and stumbled across the plains and lost his hair or whatever. That's just not how it was. That guy was brilliant. He was last in his class at West Point because he's always chasing girls. He was smart as a whip. He saved the Union at Gettysburg by stopping Jeb Stuart from rolling up the Union flank the third day of the battle. That guy was a war hero before he even went out west, and sort of made a name for himself as an Indian fighter. Um, he was, uh, as basically Sitting Bull said later, he came very close to achieving his objective and at Little Bighorn. Anyway, his book Life on the Plains, the vocabulary in it's amazing. He's a great writer. Now he could have had help. I don't know, like a ghost writer, or how everybody like has their name with Martin Dugard or whatever, and it's they'll have help with it. Anyway, old writing is they're way better at writing than we are now as a whole. Let's see. Anthem for Doomed Youth. What passing bells for these who die as cattle? Remember, this guy was a World War I vet, and he saw whole lines of men like march into machine gun fire because Colonel said so. Didn't make sense, just Colonel said so. What passing bells for these who die as cattle? Only the monstrous anger of the guns. Only the stuttering rifle's rapid rattle can patter out their hasty orisons. No mockeries now for them. No prayers, nor bells, nor any voice of mourning save the choirs, the shrill, demented choirs of wailing shells, and bugles calling for them from sad shires. What candles may be held to speed them all? Not in the hand of boys, but in their eyes shall shine the holy glimmers of goodbyes. The pallor of girls' brows shall be their pall, their flowers the tenderness of patient minds, and each slow dusk a drawing down of blinds. Um, let's see. Okay, I'll do one. I would do one more short. Uh, something short by Edgar Allan Poe. Something short by Edgar Allan Poe about the conqueror worm. All right, The Conqueror Worm by Edgar Allan Poe. Lo, 'tis a gala tonight within the lonesome latter years. An angel throng, bewinged, bedight, in veils and drowned in tears, sit in a theatre to see a play of hopes and fears, while the orchestra breathes fitfully the music of the spheres. Mimes in the form of God on high mutter and mumble low, and hither and thither fly mere puppets they who come and go at bidding of vast formless things that shift the scenery to and fro, flapping from out their condor wings invisible woe. That motley drama, oh, be sure it shall not be forgot, with its phantom chased forevermore by a crowd that seized it not, through a circle that ever returneth into to the self same spot, and much of madness, and more of sin, and horror, the soul of the plot. But see, amid the mimic rout, a crawling shape intrude, a blood-red thing that writhes from out the scenic solitude. It writhes with mortal pangs. The mimes become its food, and seraphs sob at vermin fangs, in human gore imbued. Out, out are the lights, out all, and over each quivering form, the curtain, a funeral pall, comes down with the rush of a storm, while the angels, all pallid and wan, uprising, unveiling, affirm that the play is the tragedy man, and its hero, the conqueror worm. Thank you, Eve. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Tom Hiddleston is he's the greatest um, um, he's the greatest poetry reader. He's my favorite person to listen to read poetry, I think. The um I am a big Poe fan as well, and I'm not even into like gothic stuff really, but I love Poe so much. Love, love Poe. I've got a lot of full length stuff. Raven, I don't consider Raven short. I consider that a pretty long one actually. Maybe it's because I do it on these lives. I keep the poems kind of short, just so there's interaction in between. But I think the Raven's kind of long. I think it's like 8 minutes, something like that, of reading. Um, I do have that one on YouTube, but I have a lot of his stories on YouTube that I've recorded, like Hop Frog, Cask of Amontillado, which I did in Southern, set in like New Orleans. I did, what did I do? The Mask of the Red Death, um, Pit and the Pendulum, and then, like El Dorado, The Raven, Annabelle Lee. I love Poe. Are you a NOLA? Okay, so now this I didn't do like a um I have not done the Telltale Heart. I've had two guest narrators do the Telltale Heart, a female and a male version. They're both amazing. But I haven't done it yet, and someone was asking me about it. And so I think I'm gonna do a version too, because I haven't personally recorded it, and I kinda wanna record it. Um, but my what is it? The Cask of Amontillado is, um, like in my mind, and I didn't really say it, but it's sort of set in New Orleans, and not it's just a sort of a general Southern accent. It's not like a New Orleans accent because I'm not that specific in my accentage. Um, but it's sort of like instead of being in France, New Orleans during Mardi Gras works perfectly for this for the setting that it's in. I'm sure there are even catacombs under the city. I don't know, but um, anywho, I do like Poe, and I plan to read, um, a lot more. So anyway, thank you all. Um, definitely, if you like these lives, definitely come back. I'm going to try to do Mondays and Thursdays for sure, and then a lot of times it'll be like when I can, on another, it might be a Friday or Sunday or whatever, but Mondays and Thursdays for sure. Um, Thank you, Sophie. I really appreciate that. Um, it means a lot coming from a fellow um, narrator. And what do you call it? Yeah, Mondays and Thursdays at 10 Central Time is when I try to do it. And Yeah, yeah, thanks for the giant eggplants, Forrest. I appreciate those. Um, but yeah. Oh, good deal, Eve, I appreciate that. Um, that's so cool, and you should definitely do it. Like, I love poetry, and I kinda thought, well, I like doing it, and maybe there's other people that'll do it that'll like it, and so I started doing it on, TikTok, and there's a lot of people on TikTok that like it, and then, I kind of just started on I just started posting regularly to YouTube, and I have a podcast and stuff, so, I don't know, I just started posting, and I really like connecting with other people that like it. Um, right right next the hand claps and eggplants, I love it. I appreciate it. Uh, the, ch I appreciate that. Yeah, yeah, Blue Jeep. I've got my Southern Pride and Prejudice, I've been working on that, and it's on my YouTube, so if that sort of shenanig shenaniganery, that sort of tomfoolery interests you, then definitely check out Southern Pride and Prejudice. So, anyway, y'all have a good night, and I'll talk to y'all later. Um, that's really cool. And you're very welcome. I really enjoy uh, reading, and I like connecting with other people that like to read and appreciate poetry, things like that. So that's awesome. And I think reading to your kids that's fantastic. That's really good stuff. So yep. Well, I am about to head. I've got a little bit of voice work to do. So but yeah, Mondays and Thursdays at about 10 Central Time is when I'm gonna try to do it for sure, and then I'll jump on other times too, but, if you're free on a Monday or a Thursday in the evening, definitely definitely hop on, always be good to see you. So, anyway, have a good night.